It's the evening on Friday, May 16th, 2025, and I'm on my way to see trains on the Florida portion of the CSX S line, which runs between Tampa and Jacksonville, Florida. Another active portion of the line also runs from Savannah, Georgia, to just south of the North Carolina-Virginia border. On this map, the S line is in blue. If I'm correct, the Florida portion of the S line is the most active, with upwards of 15 to 20 trains in a 24-hour period. This line is somewhat a bottleneck, carrying nearly all freight rail traffic serving North Central, West Central, and even South Florida and Orlando, though Orlando-bound trains do hop onto the A line at Lakeland. The adjacent A line, in red, generally serves Amtrak and Sunrail trains, though the occasional freight train does exist. Today, I will be focusing on the Florida S line to the northwest of Orlando, especially around Wildwood and Bushnell, Florida. At 8:50 p.m., I arrive at CSX's Wildwood Yard in the middle of Wildwood, Florida. CSX's Wildwood Yard, back in the day, used to be a major terminal which served several trains. Today, this yard is nowhere near as busy, though some road freights do work the yard along their route, though they do not terminate here. I am set up at the Wildwood Yard office. This yard office used to be an old passenger station back in the day when passenger trains ran the S line. Today, I believe there is still some passenger presence here via Amtrak Thruway or Greyhound, but I'm not 100% sure. I decided to move over to the south side of the Wildwood Yard office, where I soon heard the scanner crackling along with a distant horn, which meant a northbound train was arriving. This is CSX train I-044, nightly hotshot intermodal traffic from Tampa's Uceda Yard, bound for Jacksonville's Duval Yard. This train handles intermodal traffic, including a lot of priority UPS traffic from around the Tampa metro area. This train sometimes also handles loaded Tropicana reefers from Bradenton as well. Well over an hour after I-044 passed is another train. This is CSX train I-178, nightly double-stacked intermodal containers out of the Central Florida Intermodal Logistics Center in Winter Haven, Florida, bound for Duval Yard in Jacksonville. This beast handles much of the container traffic from around the Orlando and Lakeland metro areas. I-178 can often reach over 2 miles long, which would be in excess of 10,560 feet. Tonight was one of those nights, as this train was running at 13,785 feet, which would be over 2.5 miles long. After catching the 2 intermodal trains in Wildwood, I decided to head south to the town of Bushnell to take a nap in the car for a while. At around 1:30 a.m. on Saturday, May 17th, 2025, my nap was interrupted by some static on the scanner, so I decided to check the signals. And there sat a southbound high green on the main track at the south end of Bushnell siding. But not long after that, the switch moved over to the siding track, and a northbound medium approach aspect awaited me. This meant 2 trains were going to meet at the Bushnell siding. After a small wait, here comes the mystery northbound train going into the siding at Bushnell. At first, it appeared that this was an empty ethanol train, likely bound for the Chicago area, but this train would actually be train M442, nightly mixed freight traffic out of Yeoman Yard in Tampa, bound for the massive Rice Yard in Waycross, Georgia. Looks like precision scheduled railroading strikes again. And now it's time for that southbound train. Remember that I-178 I caught earlier? This train coming south was actually CSX train I-177, the southbound counterpart of I-178, handling a big train of double-stacked intermodal containers bound for the Central Florida Intermodal Logistics Center, and then eventually bound for distribution centers around the Lakeland and Orlando metro areas. Looks like 177 was another big train, pushing at least 10 to 12,000 feet. And with I-177 clearing, I decided to try and get another quick nap in. What was supposed to be another quick nap turned into a 3-hour nap, and when I woke up, I found myself having to set up, as there was a southbound high green at the south end of Bushnell Siding. As the light of a new day begins to set in, the sounds of rumbling engines, crossings activating, and distant train horns fill the air. This is CSX train M457, daily mixed freight traffic out of Rice Yard in Waycross, bound for Taft Yard in Orlando. If ever railfanning on the S line, you will most likely not see the northbound counterpart of this train, which is M456, which runs from Taft Yard to Baldwin, Florida. It's not unheard of for M456 to take the S line, but it's quite rare. After M457 flew through Bushnell, I decided to make my way towards Moreland Park, which is the next signal to the north of Wildwood. A southbound high green was awaiting me, so I went ahead and set up. This would be the final train of the outing. This is CSX train B218, as needed empty phosphate hoppers out of Cicero, Illinois off the BNSF Railway, bound for Mulberry, Florida. The final destination, or destinations, for these cars are likely either the New Wales or Bartow mosaic plants in the Bone Valley. With B218 clearing, I decided to head on home. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. This is Tampa Bay Rails. Goodbye.